Hey, it's Chris. I got the 12.9-inch M2 iPad Pro sitting on the desk here with all the accessories, and I absolutely cannot wait to tell you more about this Apple Pencil Hover feature, which is absolutely a bigger deal than you thought. But first, I think we probably should set the record straight. Because if you're just listening to the mainstream reviewers, you've got Mashable saying you might as well buy a MacBook. You've got TechRadar saying that people don't really need the Pro and should stick with the Air. You've got Tom's Guide saying that there's little advantage over the previous M1 Pro. ZDNet says that the software needs the updating, not the hardware. And Engadget says that the extra performance matters only to few users. I guess I would tell Mashable that you can't write on a Mac screen. And I guess I would tell TechRadar that the Air doesn't have this gorgeous XDR display. I guess I would tell Tom's Guide that I'd rather have the M2 any day over the M1 when working with DaVinci Resolve, which is now coming to the iPad. And same goes for Shaper 3D and Octane X as well. And I would mention to ZDNet that, once again, you can't write on a Mac screen. And I'd probably tell Engadget that they're kind of right, but the same thing could be said about Porsche, and there's plenty of people who are buying new 911s. The fact is, yeah, the iPad Pro is not a Mac. And for those that want an iPad and they want this insanely great touchscreen that pairs with an even better stylus than ever before, that has a detachable keyboard, this is the pinnacle, my friends, the best and newest iPad that you can buy. Now, obviously, for those of you that bought an M1 iPad Pro last year, yeah, wait a little bit. That's totally fine. But for those of you who happen to be in the market, then yeah, this one is absolutely killer. As a standalone device where the HDR absolutely pops and where you get more space because of the screen size to do some multitasking, especially when you adjust the display zoom to give you more space, and especially with the fact that you can use reference mode for professional workflows, the fact that the Pros have more storage available, not to mention the ability to shoot, edit, and publish 4K video, serious video, all on one device, which the Mac can't do, by the way. And oh yeah, Thunder freaking Bolt. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the iPad Pro and its unique capabilities and power, and the fact that it can shapeshift and transform and become different sorts of things based on whatever it is that I'm doing. Of course, you can use Jasper, my favorite AI writing assistant, with this new Pro. Works great. Now that has nothing to do with the Pro versus anything else. I just wanted to mention it. You deserve to know about it. But not everybody is gonna use an iPad Pro as a standalone device, especially not people with deep enough pockets to even be considering the Pro in the first place. The fact that if you want to, you can park this on your desk and use this insanely great screen with universal control, with the full creativity of the Apple Pencil right next to your Mac. Are you kidding me? There is no comparable Windows/Android setup out there with comparable power, style, convenience, and output. This is 100% completely unmatched. And it's not even close. And we haven't even talked about the brand new Apple Pencil Hover feature, which we're gonna get to in just a second. But guess what? There's a brand new Paperlike on the block. Personally, I just about can't stand using an Apple Pencil without a Paperlike. So yeah, I'm really excited about Paperlike 2.1, or the Swiss Paperlike. Paperlike 2.1 has better overall visibility and clarity during use, the same papery feel and stroke resistance from Paperlike 2, new composite materials and better nanodot distribution, an expert-backed development process, and Swiss-based manufacturing. And it's the nanodots that are the secret sauce here. They minimize refractions, resulting in a noticeable step up in picture quality. So if you're an Apple Pencil user, optimize for that. Check it out using the link down in the description. All right, let's talk about the Apple Pencil and this new hover functionality. This is cool, and you don't even have to be an artist to appreciate it. I gotta tell you, it really does seem to bring iPadOS to life in new and useful and interesting ways. So yes, before you write or select a tool in Apple Notes, you can preview where it is, the placement and size and stuff, and things like Apple Notes and Procreate. That's cool. And yeah, buttons and widgets and app icons all move and animate when you get close, which is also very cool. But I'm really starting to appreciate this just as a way to interact with the iPad, to browse around. So for instance, in Safari here, I've got YouTube open, and look, if I hover my finger over any of these videos here, nothing happens. If I hover the Apple Pencil over, they'll actually preview. They'll start playing, which is really cool. And not only that, but I can actually scrub through the timeline a little bit and pick a place within the video by using hover. So it's almost like a bionic finger in some ways. And look at this, if I've got multiple tabs open, I can actually hover over those tabs and get a preview of what that web page is. There's so much cool stuff that I'm still discovering all the time. I've only had this for a little bit here. But Hover is very much an iPad first feature. The Apple Pencil is such a differentiator when you talk about laptop versus tablet, MacBook versus iPad. And now not only is it getting better, but it's also very fun. Really can't wait to see what the developers do with this. The Procreate team obviously has been all over this and they're coming up with some super creative uses for it. So when this gets unleashed within the app developer community, I think there's gonna be some really notable ways that our iPad experience changes. Now, regarding the M2 here, it is faster, okay? 16% faster CPU, 35% faster graphics, 50% more bandwidth, definite advances on paper at least. But here's the thing, as I've said in the past, I think your average everyday person, 99% of people are really gonna struggle to feel those advances in their day-to-day workflows. But I'll also say this thing is primed and ready if and when some additional pro apps follow DaVinci Resolve and make their way onto this platform. Now, do I know of any other really super heavy-hitting apps that are coming to the iPad? No, but thanks to DaVinci, we do now have the template, the example. Thanks to the M2 chip, thanks to Stage Manager, you can now hook this thing up to an external monitor, something like the Studio Display, and do some serious video editing on an external monitor. And as a video editor, one of my favorite uses for the Pro is to have my timeline on an external display and the preview of my footage on the iPad Pro screen, this glorious, amazing color correct display. And it's not just about using DaVinci Resolve with the mouse and the trackpad. They've also made it fully compatible with the Apple Pencil. So that means there's gonna be things that you can do on DaVinci Resolve with the Apple Pencil on the iPad Pro that you could not do in DaVinci Resolve on the Mac, or at least ways of going about those things. And I get it, you personally may not be a video editor, and I don't know that I'm gonna end up personally using DaVinci Resolve. I might, but whatever your pro app is, the thing that would really be game-changing for you if it migrated from the Mac over to the iPad in all its glory, right? No holds barred. And then all of a sudden you can use the Apple Pencil in new ways within that app. Come on, maybe that is a real future that we're now heading towards. All right, so let's just go ahead and do a quick camera test. This is the front facing camera. And yeah, right now I'm looking off to the side because it hasn't been moved into the horizontal centered position like for Magic Keyboard users. Do you know why? Because there hasn't been a full redesign, right? When this thing gets redesigned, maybe we'll see that. We saw that on the base entry-level iPad 10 because it got a full redesign. All right, let me know down in the comments what you thought of the footage, the quality, how it sounded. But just to bring this full circle here, I feel like a lot of reviewers are still treating this like a wannabe Mac. Not just the iPad, but the iPad Pro. They don't understand that it does actually have its own identity. Very obviously. Can't rip the keyboard off of a Mac and just use the screen. Can't write on the screen on a Mac. No 4K cameras on a Mac, no LiDAR sensor. There are so many things that the Mac can't do that the iPad Pro can. And obviously, they work brilliantly together as well. So I'll have a full review of this thing, what it's like to live with, work with, rely on coming up. So get subscribed if you're new around here. But I do just want to say, if you are in the market for a new iPad and you want the best, don't let anybody talk you out of getting the M2 by saying that it's boring or something like that, all right? You can sense my excitement here. This thing is awesome. In fact, it's anything but boring. I think tech reviews are what maybe is getting boring sometimes. Hey, that's it for this video, but the daily tech experience doesn't have to end. We have a podcast, we have a newsletter. Both of those come out on Fridays. You're missing a ton, by the way, if you haven't signed up for those, if you're not subscribed. So check them out, they're linked up down below. Also got some wallpapers if you don't want your iPad or other devices looking just the same as everybody else's. You can check those out, they're linked up too, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later.